Hello. Hold on. Yep, there we go. Alrighty, it looks like we are good to go. Hello, and welcome to Purge of the Serpentholds, Season 1, Episode 9, Unflinching Vision. We finally completed the last quest we were doing, and now a new one's coming up. But I'm Corinne of Roll the Roll, and I'm known as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter. I hope everyone watching has been washing their hands and maintaining social distance if they can. Before we jump into the recap, I have a few announcements I'd like to make. Like always. First, I would just like to thank Ryan for the theme song you heard on that starting soon screen. I'm going to put his Twitter right in the chat. Boop. He is the one who did that song, and he has open commission slots, so hit him up if you need music or voiceover work, that kind of thing. He does a great job. I'd also like to thank Victor, who designed the assets that were used to build some of the maps used today. You can find him on Twitter and his work on the Roll20 Marketplace. Those should link to both of him. And then I'd also like to thank the Onyx Path for inviting us to run this show. If you haven't picked up the Scarred Lands Player's Guide yet, now is the time. The Player's Guide PDF and the PDF of The Wise and the Wicked are currently pay what you want on Drive-Thru RPG. I'm going to link both those in the chat right now, as well as the physical version of the Scarred Lands Player's Guide. The first two are the PDFs. And like I said, they are pay what you want. So it's a great time to get into it if you've been looking at the game and just kind of waiting for it to go on sale. Right now, you can literally pay whatever you want for it. If you have some extra free time to kill, like a lot of us do, and you're interested in playtesting new Scarred Lands content, the below link has you covered. This one here. And there's playtests that are released frequently, and your responses matter. So get over there and test some new exciting stuff. Finally, if you'd like to support the show, please check out our Ko-Fi. Basically, everything there will go into helping make the show better. And finally, without further ado, I'd like to pass the floor to my players. Introduce yourselves, tell us a little about your characters, and then we can get on with the show. I think first off, did we go backwards last time or frontways last time? I don't remember. We'll go backwards. Shawnee, you're up first. Who are you?
I'm Shawnee of Showcat Cosplay, and I play Shaho, an adorable, box-obsessed Manticore Ranger.
Like all good cats. All right, Rune.
Hello, I am Rune. I play the fabulous disaster trash fire that is Marigold, the Drendali Bard.
Very nice. And Megan.
Hello, I am playing Kerrigan. She's a blood-tainted Triton, and she is like a berserker monk.
Very nice.
Berserker monk.
Berserker monk. Do. Megan started it. Candy, you're up.
Hi, I'm Candy. I play Kai Thorncraft, the halfling paladin, also known as the Itty Bitty Tin Can.
And we love her dearly. All right, Hiromi, last but not least.
Hi, I'm Hiromi. I play Zasa, the Atsati wizard, which makes her a lizard wizard. And she has this hat in character because all wizards need a good hat, and you don't always need to go with the traditional human mage pointed hats. No. Sometimes what you need is a dragon on your head.
I think Zasa's a trendsetter, and everyone's going to be wearing dragon hats soon. Once word gets around about how cool you all are, there's going to be, like a run on dragon hats. All right, so a bit of summary of what happened last time. Last week, you all successfully made it up the Gaskar Peaks through Murmur Pass, and you found the lips of Mormo's lips that had been calling to her followers and various other people, just whoever basically understood her, and bringing them up to the dangerous mountains where the winds coming from her own mouth were then knocking them down again. It really wasn't a plan that her lips thought out very well, because I don't think they can think, but they were still acting seemingly in her best interests. You all were able to successfully get those lips, put them in a bag, and you now have them. You did so without a fight. You didn't have to fight for it. You were able to kind of fib your way through it, because there was somebody else there who was trying to get the lips, but he was very tired. So, he was just so tired. Yeah, I know, right? I'm with you there. But yeah, you were successfully able to get them. After you did, you went back down the mountain. You performed burial rites for the various corpses that were down there after having been basically chucked off the mountain by the wind. And you parted ways with the Gorgon, who you had come to an agreement with instead of fighting.
Gregor.
Yep, Gregor the Gorgon, and he's going back to his cat. his cat, wherever he lives. I believe he lives, we said, near the Perforated Planes. Shortly after that happened, though, you received another message by bird. It came from Sina, your boss. She said that she had, hoped you'd successfully retrieved it. The birds had let her know that you probably had, and that she would like you to meet her in Meliad. So that's where you are now. You just got to travel back to Meliad. Is there anything you want to do before you go try and get back, or anything you want to do on the way back?
Well, I think we need to either return our lizards or go buy our lizards. Otherwise, it's stealing.
Very true.
Yeah.
Ruin our credit rating.
I'd very much like to buy Komodo.
The zebra's mine. So.
Yeah, so
Liberate them.
the stable that you had bought the lizard from is in Meliad, or had rented the lizard from is in Meliad. So on your way there, you can certainly stop by the stable real fast before going to meet up with Sina. She didn't really say exactly where she was going to meet you, but I'm sure she'd be able to find you. Let's see.
That
So
sounds ominous.
she's always able to find you.
Don't worry, yeah.
There's plenty of trees in that area, so she's able to see you. Go ahead.
On the way back, Marigold is going to very sneakily try to burn something in the fire.
Okay.
Horrible woman.
I'm the worst. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is roll,
Sleight of hand.
yeah, a sleight of hand check to see if you're able to burn whatever you're trying to burn.
Nat one. 10.
Okay, I'd like
Perception.
everybody. Yeah, what are all of your passive perceptions? I'm pretty sure someone that's got higher than 10.
It's gotta be higher than 10.
11.
Okay,
For like all of us.
I would hope so, but you never know. I think it like has to be 10 at least. Okay, so I think all of you notice. You see that Marigold throws something into the fire. Do you question it, or do you just think he's, tossing some old paper in there? What do you do?
That.
See what it is? Like, is it a child?
It's a small
Or-
child. I toss a small child into the fire.
Then yes, I would like to intervene.
It's like it's a folded piece of what looks like canvas, actually.
I can let that slide.
I'm curious. What was that?
The next time you need to destroy something, you can just ask me.
No, don't worry about it. Just a bit of scrap fabric I had laying around. I said, like a liar.
Yeah, can we tell?
Yeah, I'd like you to roll, deception. Okay, that's a pretty good deception. I'd like all of you to just roll perceptions or sense motive, if you have it.
There is no sense motive. It's called it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's insight. I am Pathfinder. I was playing Starfinder on Friday. So, yes. Perception or insight.
I'm going to impose disadvantage on myself.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
Folks in
Because it's
folks in the chat,
mortified.
Okay.
folks in the chat are saying that Corinne is a little bit loud and everyone else is a little bit quiet.
Oh, let me correct that for you. I can fix me. Okay, let me know if I sound better. And then I can turn all of you all up as well. So give me just a moment.
We're gonna
Because
start
Corinne
singing
thinks
again.
she's so much more
I'm
important.
so much more important than all of you.
Technically, she is.
In theater, we just call it the God mic, so it's natural that it's louder.
Yes, I am also just loud.
Happens.
Okay, let me know if they sound a little bit better, because I have them cranked on OBS, but I did have Zoom turned down a little bit I didn't notice that. So let me know. All right, all of you say like your name just so people can see if anyone in particular is soft.
Megan / Caravan.
Marigold.
Zasa!
Shaho.
Oh, we're like Pokemon.
All right,
And also Kai.
let me.
Zasa.
What's up?
Sounds really good. That was really good.
Okay, so everyone else needs about 10%. Okay. Now that they're all Pokemon,
It's
okay.
usable. Still not perfect, but good enough for government work.
All right.
Work for the
Purge.
government.
He doesn't work for the government.
So I brought them up just a little bit. Hopefully that's good. Let us know if you have any other trouble with sound. Basically, this computer gets used for many, many streams. So every time I'm in a new one, it's like, oh, what did we mess up last time we did it? Have to figure out what we did. So, all right. So let's go look at those rolls again. So, Marigold, you gave yourself disadvantage because you feel you're lying badly.
I am. You
Okay.
said, you know, like a lying liar.
Like a lying liar. So Shaho and Zasa, you both, you've perceived that Marigold may not be telling the truth.
After that lovely conversation we had about telling the truth to each other.
That's right. You did have like a heart-to-heart last session about the truth. Lying liar.
I know. That's why I'm lying badly, because I feel terribly about it.
Marigold, it's okay if there's things that you don't want to tell us, but you don't have to pretend about it.
It's a portrait of myself.
Alternatively, you could pretend, but when you're trying to lie to us, what you could do is keep your eyes more focused directly on us, and then keep a more even tone of voice. That way, we won't remember. You'll just be able to lie straight past us.
Zasa, you shouldn't teach people to lie to you.
It's a skill.
It's a portrait of myself in January that apparently he had commissioned. I'm burning it, alright?
Who's genre?
January, my ex, the tailor,
Oh.
the one who didn't finish this fucking sleeve.
And braided her.
That was
His
rude.
hair.
Is he cute? Can I see the portrait? Oh, it's on fire.
That's all you mean.
I mean, it is canvas, and it is waxed canvas with an oil painting on it, so it's probably not burning quite yet. If
I'm
you
not
really
gonna reach
wanted
in the
to-
flames to see a hot guy.
I mean, Mage Hand exists if you really want to look.
I don't know.
I could
me.
further melt it.
You can what?
I could make it melt
No,
faster.
if you're gonna be nosy, just pull it out of the fire already. God, fine, you can see it. You can even read the fucking letter that he sent if you really want.
Oh, I want to read the letter.
Why do I do this to myself?
I'd rather just help you do what you wanted to do. You wanted to destroy it, so why not mix fire and acid?
I don't know why you wouldn't throw it in the fire when we're doing watches and you're the only one awake. I think you wanted the attention, Rune. Not Rune. Marigold.
Ouch! A little too close to the bone there, Megan.
So if anybody is getting access to this letter, I can send them the letter.
I think it'd be more fun if we read it out loud, don't you?
Yeah, you can certainly read it out loud if you like. Unless you'd like me to, because I can as well.
You get Marigold's dry delivery if you let me read it.
I would love Marigold's dry delivery.
Fine, fucking hell. Marigold flips out the letter, which he did not notably burn. I had to read this with a straight face. God.
You encourage this.
Well, it was mentioned last session, and I figured it was as good of a place as any to pick back up, so...
It is.
Sorry.
You don't have to read it with a straight face. You can read it with a gay face.
Darling, my face is all gay all day, alright? There's nothing straight about it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You might even say you could use my face for cooking bacon because it's a pan face.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh, that's a new one. I love it.
Oh.
With factual and humorous. Hey.
Can we just get one more finger guns for that, eh? Like, just a good... There you go.
Hey. Anyway,
Please
Brian...
tell me you clipped that.
Anyone in chat, please clip that.
Anyway, bright as marigold, I know your heart and soul was a wandering one from the beginning. It is part of what I've loved about you. It's naive perhaps to think that you could keep you with me. I was not made for traveling, adventuring of a homebody, but I wanted you to know that I had some of the...
Can't think you can go that fast and still read.
But I wanted that home to have you in it. Is it too much to ask that you visit time and time again? I know it's silly to want to see you so, knowing it will only make the wound fresh once more. But I can't deny longing for your quit, your voice, and who I was when we were together. My sight misses you, and I miss you something fierce. I wake up every day hoping to find you outside my door of bed. They say absent makes the heart fonder, and yet I can't imagine being any fonder than I already am. But I digress. Stay safe if you can, and know that I'll be here waiting for you to come home someday, whenever that day is. Waiting and hoping January. P.S. Mormo the Titan. Oh, what have you gotten yourself mixed up in this time, Marigold? If only I could hear the worry in these words. I wish if I can't read. What's up, my Marigold? I'm 85 years old and I never learned how to read. Okay, I'll keep an eye out, of course, in an ear, but I haven't heard anything of it yet. But people don't pay attention to tailors, please. Blah, blah, blah. Be careful. There you go. Happy?
If he knows it's silly to worry, then why is he worrying? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand this person, honestly.
They sound
Neither
like
do
they
I.
love you.
Yeah, it got a little sexy there for a second.
I would like to die, please.
Probably one day, but hopefully not soon.
I'm Dundali. I'll probably outlive all of you, unfortunately.
Well,
I
we'll
have
see.
9 lives.
Do you actually?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't
roll
tell you this.
insight.
Also, you were telling this person about Mormo?
I told him that if he heard anything to keep his ear out and let me know. Helps to be informed.
Okay.
Should I not tell?
I don't know.
If you trust him, then it should be fine.
I trust him to be an overly romantic sap who can't let go of the past, but he's harmless, really, I think, hopefully.
And also to know that we're hunting after Titan pieces.
Oh no, I didn't tell him that.
What did you tell him? Just to listen for Mormo news?
If you heard anybody speaking about Momo, just, give me a shout. Look, he was really closed off, and I didn't understand him, and he's really bad about communicating his needs. It was just untenable, and I can't stay in the same place forever. Don't we have lizards to pay for, jobs to do?
We're just resting for the evening?
Right. I bet there's something absolutely fascinating 10 feet that way, and I'm going to go find out what it is.
I
Okay.
guarantee that there will be.
Oh, you just hear Marigold stomping off in the distance. You hear,
Have
oh,
fun
it's
avoiding
sand!
the elephant in the room.
It's sand! Look, it's more sand! This is the most amazing sand I've ever seen in my life! This sand is so fascinating! Oh, it's more sand! And he just keeps going.
I think sand's really boring. I
It
don't know why
is!
Marigold's so excited about it.
Maybe he's a geologist now.
And talking about my relationships! He'll come back in
Geology
like
is
20
very
minutes.
interesting.
Is it? It's just rocks.
Yes, exactly.
We have vastly different hobbies, but I respect that. It takes all
Sedimentary,
kinds.
my dear Watson.
Your
How can you still hear us?
I have very good hearing.
All right. So you're able to basically get back to Meliad without any trouble. You see a couple of other, like groups of ironbreds off in the distance. Oh, they could be Sutak for all you know, but they keep their distance. They don't get close to you. They're all going about their own business. And you're able to just make it back. If you remember, the stable was pretty close to the gates to get in, so you don't have to go too far. And so, you're basically just able to head over to the stable and meet up with Willie, who rented the lizards out to you.
It was weird, Willie, right?
It is Weird Willie.
It's weird, really.
Weird Willie tries everything once.
Whoa.
I gave
Oh,
the
keeps
that's
it
right.
balancing.
Yeah, he got a corset last time. Okay.
I wonder how his posture is now.
Well, what you do see is that, like last time, the front of the stable doesn't really have anyone at it. There's a little bell you can ring for service, but you can assume that Willie is probably in the back again, tending to the stables themselves, mucking things out, doing that kind of work.
Ding.
You hear some shuffling, some like clanks, and then Willie comes out of the little door, like pushes it open, and I'd like you all to roll a perception check for me. Let me see. Okay, so let's see. Basically everybody but Zasa. You notice that Willie is standing straighter. He has a certain, rigidity to his stance, as if his posture was somehow augmented by something. And his curves are looking fine.
Meow.
Oh, hey, you're back. You made it back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Willie stable. Were you looking to return the lizards?
No, we like them. Could we possibly use our rental money that we used as like a deposit to buy them?
Oh, yeah, I think we even talked about that last time. Yeah, we can take, the amount you paid off the initial cost, since it was like a trial run and they all seem to be in good health. Let me just pull up the costs of horses again so I can figure out the cost of your lizards, because I didn't write it down.
I think if I took notes, I would say the big lizards were 80 gold and the little lizards were 30.
Good job on taking those notes.
I should get inspiration.
For assisting the DM, you do get 1 point of inspiration for keeping those notes for me, so I don't have to look it up and try and remember. All right. Oh, yeah. So the big ones, which most of you have, that's the 80. And then the little fella, Opal, I liked that one. I liked the name you gave it. That one's 30. So all together, that'd bring you to 3 of the 80s and 1 of the 30. How much did you pay me again? Weird Willie's not very bright.
This I am not sure of.
I think I did 12 for Opal.
Yeah, I think it was... I want to say it was 15 gold or something like that. Like, it was 15 for the larger ones, 12...
I have 15 for the big and 7 for the little.
Is it
But
7? Okay.
I don't know if that
Yeah.
included, like, tack and food and everything.
Yeah, I think you guys also got tack and food. So I'd say 15 was for the large one. There was probably 12 altogether for you, Kai. And then I think there might have just been a couple extra gold for tack, food, etc. So I'd say that you've all probably paid times 3 plus 12. I'll say you've probably paid 67 gold so far. Because I think it was 15 for the 2 weeks. So you've paid 67, and that would be just literally doing math. 203 gold left on your balance to completely pay for the rest of the lizards.
Well,
Is there 5 of us?
I mean, do we want to divide that up? Because we already divided our money before.
Yeah, we can. I'm down with that.
Absolutely.
So it'd be about 41 gold per piece, give or take.
I'll help
Alright.
out as well.
I'm good.
Yeah, you already paid for yours.
Nah. Whatever benefits the party benefits all of us, so, you know.
I can do 41. I am stinking rich because I got that lip money.
The lip money.
I'll hand over the 41 gold.
Yeah,
Also
same.
just lip service.
All right, so everybody just mark that down on your sheets. I'll trust that you give it to Weird Willie. Well, you know, I am so glad that these lizards got a good home. You know, some people, they just want to, you know, take them out and then they bring them back and they're in horrible shape. But you all took care of them well. I don't know what you were doing. It's probably something dangerous, you adventuring folk. But, you know,
Oh.
you took care of the lizards and that's what's important to me. You know, can I get a handshake from all of you? Just a handshake.
Sure.
He gives you a very vigorous handshake. Just to seal the deal.
Delightful.
All right, is there anything else Willie can help you with today?
How's your back doing?
Oh, that corset? Fantastic. I'm loving it. I mean, it's a little bit harder to reach down and grab things, but I perfected a method, and sometimes I just use a stick to get stuff. So, you know, it's working great. I love it. I feel
You
so...
should just squat, and then it'll help you build up a nice booty as well.
There you are.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't even thought of that. Oh, I can work on my squat game.
Yeah? Don't
Man.
sit like this.
You're great. Best adventurers ever. Come back to Willie's anytime.
We'll keep that in mind. Alright, let's go find...
There's a squat game.
There is.
Are there competitive leagues?
Probably.
God, I hope so.
Interesting.
All those competitive squatters out there.
Is that one of your hobbies, Caravan?
Yeah, more of a spectator. You know what I mean?
Oh, you hate to see them go, but you love to watch them leave.
Let's go find Cena. Willie, nice seeing you.
Bye, Willie.
Bye, all. See you later.
Hi, Willie.
Thank you for the lizards.
Thank you for the money.
Yep.
All right, I'm just gonna go stand near the nearest tree.
Okay. A good method there. So you go stand near the closest tree. The tree kind of seems to move in a breeze that isn't there. And
Sylvan.
okay, you talk to him, Sylvan. What do you say?
Unless Shaho has some rangery stuff she'd rather do.
I can't talk to trees.
Yeah, but you're old naturey.
Yeah.
Oh, alright, I'll swap to Sylvan. Yo, tree!
The tree's like, what?
Oh, sorry. Hey, can you tell Cena we're here?
Of course. Next time, ask nicer.
Thank you very much for your help.
You're welcome. The tree got really violent there for a minute and then just calmed down. It would have given you like that I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed look if it had eyes.
No, I feel it in the depths of my elven soul.
Yes.
My flower droops a little.
Good. So there's some more swaying. You see some other trees in the area do that kind of weird sway thing. And then eventually in the distance, you see Cena. She looks a little bit worse for wear, a little bit tired. But, you know, she's there just like she said she would be. And she comes up to you and, you know, tries to give you a smile. It does seem kind of tired and worn down, but she's smiling and, you know... I am so happy you all made it back. I'm really proud of you.
Are you okay, Cena?
It's well, I mean, Caravan, you saw me last. The ambush. It was a
Yeah.
yeah, it was a bit rough. I mean, I'm here, I'm alive, I made it, but, you know.
I just usually after I have a full night's sleep, I feel really better whenever something goes wrong. Have you not been sleeping?
Not much, I'm afraid. The stress, you know, things are picking up a bit as they were, and, well, I have superiors to report to, and, yeah, it's been a little rough. But, you know, enough about me. You got the piece, right?
Yeah.
We did, yes.
Yeah, we did. Mhm.
That is wonderful.
Insight.
Ah, gotcha. I was trying to get back there. Okay. So what you learn from that check is that Cena does seem kind of nervous, or a little bit upset. But she is really happy that you got the piece, and she, you know, is happy that you're alive and here. But it does seem like everything's not quite right with her. She's not quite her usual self.
Does
What?
she seem like she's not herself at all?
No, not literally. Not herself.
Not like a Men in Black
No.
kind of situation.
It is not a Cena suit. She seems like herself, but she doesn't have her usual presence, her usual, like the way she carries herself. She just seems, you know, as if someone who's like really composed usually has like a really shitty month, and then you see them after that month and you're like, oh damn, you work really hard to be that composed all the time, and you're not doing it right now. That's kind of the feeling you're getting, is that usually she's very, very composed, but right now she just can't. She's over it. And she's still trying to put on a brave face, but it's not quite, you know, as successful as she'd like against a 21 insight check.
So a little more Stravinsky rather than Mozart,
Yeah.
because she's decomposing.
Yes.
So sorry.
Forgiven.
Speak
So
for yourself.
yeah, they might kick you out. I'll forgive you for any sort of puns you do, but I can't promise anything from them. So she clears her throat and, well, what was it? You know, I knew something was up there, but, you know, I didn't really know what.
Some alarmingly seductive lips.
Oh.
Yeah, they were very like.
Oh. Well, that's not what I expected, certainly. But, I mean,
Gorgon.
You fought him?
No, God,
Oh no.
Oh,
That
good.
was very rude of us.
It would be quite rude, and I believe in you all. I don't know if I believe in you all that much.
No, you
That-
better stop.
Wow.
I
Since
don't.
we're doing all of your work for you out here.
Well, and I appreciate that. But Gorgons are quite formidable. Particularly, you know, they're not usually alone. If you'd had to fight one, there probably would have been more.
Well, his cat wasn't with him. He left
That's
his
true.
cat at home, so he was alone. But he was very nice, actually.
Helped him bury his friends out.
Oh, well, I mean, that's nice to hear. I'm sure, you know, not everybody who gets wrapped up in this business is, you know, all bad. It's all...
I'm just saying, Cena, we've been working with you for a while, and I feel like we got to know Gregor more in that little time frame. And, maybe more transparency would be good.
Speaking of transparency, in the name of it, how about we go to the tavern? We can discuss more business there. I have someone I'd like you to meet.
It's not a hag, is it?
No, she's not a hag.
Is it Tim?
No, not Tim. I don't know a Tim.
Good. He's shady as hell.
Tim is shady as hell. Okay, give me just a moment here.
Not an enchanter.
Maybe. He's not a good one. Okay, give me just a moment here. I'm just gonna set this to the map for everybody to see. Zoom in.
That's an old reference.
It'd be nice if we wouldn't have to fight again, Cena. Last time we met you in a tavern, things didn't go well.
Oh, no, there'll be no fight. I mean, I hope. I have no plans to make you fight anyone in here. I should hope that's not what it's going to be.
Well, no one makes us fight. We're not gladiators.
Or are you?
Nope, we're sadiators.
Oh.
Stop! Stop it!
All right,
I'm
there we
sorry,
go.
I don't know what's gone into me today.
The lack of sleep, I should think. So.
Sadiator, starring Russell Crowe.
I've gathered you all here on the map. You should be able to see your tokens. And Komodo is here as well. There he is, and he can help you in battle, so he gets a token. Not that there's going to be a battle in this tavern. I'm not saying there is. So Sina, goes on into the tavern. And while this tavern looks a lot like Nell's, it is not Nell's. It is in a different city. I just reused my tavern because I didn't want to make another one. But it is, significantly less full than Nell's back when you were there. Nell's was a very special place with lots of special people. And so Sina, kind of directs you all to come in and follow her. And then she takes a seat right here.
Komodo, you wait outside and chill here, and I'll be back for you.
Komodo gives like a little hiss. And then
That's my boy.
settles down in the shade of the tree. All right. So, as you all kind of gather around, one of the waitresses, comes by to take drink orders, things like that, see if you want anything. It looks like there's already been some drinks at the table. But you could probably assume that Sina actually came from here when she met you all. She was in this tavern beforehand and then left to go get you. The woman that you see at the table is wearing, kind of the trappings of a standard druid. She, has, a quarterstaff with her. She is wearing earth tones, things like that. She has, long brown hair. You do notice that her ears are a little bit pointy, but they don't look quite pointy enough to be, a full-blooded elf. She, you can't really tell age so much, knowing that she is probably a half-elf. That does kind of skew, being able to judge the age, because there's such a variance there. But she looks like she could be someone that, is working with Sina. As you all take a seat, Sina, kind of gestures to the woman, and she's like, I would like you all to meet, Morin. Morin, is, one of my superiors.
Hello.
Oh.
Lauren, nice to meet you. I'm Caravan.
Hello, cousin.
Morin, nods, and, kind of doesn't quite put out a hand to shake, but does kind of like give you each kind of like a nod and a smile. I have heard so much about you all. Really, you're quite effective. Sina might have a bit of a soft spot for you.
What? So you're one of her superiors. What is your organization exactly?
Organization is a loose term, but, we are a group who is incredibly concerned, with, the reality of Mormo coming to power again. It would, play hell with all in nature, and certainly not something the Earth Mother would like. So, we, various elves, various druids, have banded together to try and stop that from happening. There isn't enough of us, really, to do the jobs ourselves, so we have hired adventurers like yourselves to kind of do the jobs in our stead. There's so many places. Some of us are on the quests as well. Don't get me wrong, we're not sending you all to do the dirty work yourselves, without us doing some as well. But it is just a case of, with so many rumored locations, there's too many. Sina is, has been quite good at finding locations. We're very proud of her for that. But, she's just one person, and sometimes getting those pieces is quite difficult, as I'm sure you all know.
Are you guys putting them all together in a location?
They are planned to go to one location, but it is an incredibly well-guarded one, without ties to any specific government. Somewhere where they could be contained and kept safe. Possibly studied, but never brought together. We do not want them brought together at all. And, while the various, elves and druids, we're the ones who don't want them going together, obviously, we don't really have the power to contain them. So we have, called in another party, but they are quite well respected. If you have heard, it is a group that is well known in Derekeen. And I'm probably going to say this wrong, but I read it as the Phylacteric Vault.
Do I know anything about them? Does Zasa?
You can give me some rolls. I'd say a history roll or Arcana. Both will give you some information about them.
Apparently history.
All right, let me check and see. Okay, so Zasa has the history, and Marigold will give you something for Arcana. Okay, give me just a minute here. I just need to find my notes. Here we go.
There's a child crying in the end.
Yeah, there's a child here somewhere. Okay, so the Zasa, you know that the Phylacteric Vault has been an institution in Gelspad, and particularly Derekeen, for a very long time. The vault is not under the Emperor's control, and it does not lend its skills or research to the Empire without steep recompense. But it nonetheless firmly entrenched in the minds of scholars and from other nations as a defining feature of Derekeen. So it's well known. It's not controlled by the Emperor. And it doesn't have any political ties. It will work for governments for money or some sort of trade, but generally speaking, it's not something that you just go to willy-nilly. It's something that you come to when you have very serious business, and then you pay for that business. Marigold, you know that the Phylacteric Vault is pretty mysterious, but it is where some of the grandest magical studies in all of Gelspad happen. It is where people are learning new magics. They are testing spells. They are figuring out ways to protect people from magic while keeping the most destructive magics at bay. They are, on the whole, protectors in a sense, as much as they are scholars. Their goal is basically to make sure that dangerous magic doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Whether you think their hands are the right hands at all for it is to be decided, but on the whole, they have been respectable and trustworthy with the magic that has been given to them, and they have researched in the past. There's that baby again.
I have the sound turned off in Roll20, so
I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. That baby's getting to me.
So, question. So you've been finding these locations, and we found 2 items for you already.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have another location in mind for us already?
Sina, kind of leans forward. I do. It's one that, I had sent another party to go check on, and I haven't heard back from them. I've been trying to get in contact with them. I've sent birds, as I did with you, but I fear my birds are being intercepted. There's not a whole lot of plants in the area, at least not ones that I'm, able to get in touch with. But yes, the Perforated Planes. We believe there's a piece there, but the last party I sent, I haven't heard from. I'm just hoping they're waylaid and they're completely fine, but you know the way of things.
Doesn't
How-
Gregory live in the Perforated Planes?
Oh,
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kai.
Oh no. How have you been finding out about these locations?
vigorous research. That was Morn kind of piping in. Sina is one of our foremost researchers. She, has a mind for it, and she's quite good at telling the natural disturbances that, kind of follow these places around. She is quite talented at discovering, just what is the taint of Mormo and what is other riffraff.
Is that why she looks like she hasn't slept in a month, poor darling?
Well, that may be part of it. And Sina kind of, shrugs a little.
You just been staying up late thinking about Mormo's taint.
Maybe she is. Okay, give me 1 minute. I just have to get here. So, Sina, kind of clears her throat. Part of it is that I have been doing a lot of research, and that has kept me busy. So much business. But there is something else. It's about Riasa.
The hag?
The hag, yes. Although I escaped the ambush, she was apprehended by the cultist. And, that responsibility was mine. And Morn is here to make sure that I am held accountable. As trusted of a researcher as I am, I messed up in the field. And I'm going to be heavier oversight in the future. I wanted you all to know this. I know you haven't necessarily trusted me thus far. But, I am but a cog in a machine, as it were. And, I have people I'm reporting to and a large group of people who are all trying to do the right thing. And I messed up. And Morin, smiles again and laughs. Oh, she'll be fine. I assure you, a slap on the wrist. But, I still had to come down here and have a discussion with her.
That does raise the question of...
I don't know if she means it or not at all. Sure.
Yo!
That does raise the question, though. The fingers did make it safely into your care, right?
They did, yes. We have the the fingers. Such a weird statement. We have the fingers locked up back at the vault. They have already entombed them. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm not much for their types of sciences, but yes, from what I've heard, they are safe and sound. I didn't witness the entombing myself, but I did hear back from one of my assistants that everything went according to plan.
And this vault is very secure from the various Mormo cultists, yes?
Oh, incredibly. First off, it is in a secure and remote location. But also, to be able to get into the phylacteric vault, as a researcher or even as a visitor, it is an incredibly strict vetting process. No one should be able to, sneak in or, infiltrate their way in. It would take years. To accomplish something, to basically rewrite your own history. I'm not saying it's not possible, because anything's possible, but it's unlikely. I feel it's one of the safest places that we have in Derekeen, and certainly maybe in all of Gelspad. Marigold, for that insight check, was that on the slap on the wrist comment? Or just in general?
Her in general.
Morin seems competent. She has an air of authority. It seems like, Sina does defer to her. But, she is, telling you things that are true.
I lean over and I whisper to Marigold, because that's who's next to me on the map. Marigold, do you think that we should tell them about the medallion that seems to lead us to some of these parts?
I don't know yet.
Okay. So I'm not sure that I trust them either, so... Okay. Okay.
I just saw All-Star Squatting League.
Yes, League. Right, so I take it you want us to head out to the Perforated Planes, go see what's out there, come back with the pieces, yes?
Sina speaks up again. I would appreciate it. I'm quite worried for the party I sent before you. As young a party as you all are, fairly inexperienced, you've been very effective. And, I worry about this group. They're a little bit more experienced than you, but I fear something waylaid them. And I worry that, perhaps they're goners already.
Tell us about them.
Yes, that would help, wouldn't it? All right, so the most recognizable in the group would be the brothers, Yasi and Pax. One is a full-blooded manticore like yourself, Shaho, and the other is half-elf. Yasi will be heavily tattooed, and he is the manticora, full-blooded one. And you'll know Pax when you see him. He will, he is part manticore, and he certainly has those features, but he would look different than the standard manticore, a bit more elfin in nature. It does set him apart from the crowd. And then with them will be or should be, I honestly can't say, a halfling woman named Thenia. She wears a heavy armor, much like yourself, Kai. And then there's a set of human siblings named Tema and Pip. One is a cleric, and the other, I'm not quite certain what he does. But, they seemed to be the type of party who could succeed. I believed in them, but I'm quite worried now. I haven't heard from them in a couple weeks at least.
You mentioned earlier that there weren't a lot of trees or anything, and that you think your birds are being intercepted?
Yes. There's some, brush in the area and things like that, but nothing really that I can pass a message along to or get much of eyes on anything, because they're so few and far apart.
Should we bring, a potted flower with us?
Well, I mean, it's certainly something we could try. More of the problem is there's no way for the words I say to travel to that area. It's broken up by barren wastes, as it were. There is some foliage, but any message I send gets stopped before it can get to it. The Perforated Planes.
Do I know
Yes.
of any bonsai trees that can go in a winged potted plant? Sort of planter thing? It could fly for us?
What?
I don't know what to have you roll for that.
I feel like this would be a wondrous item. Maybe I've heard of it. Just a potter with
it'd be a flying pot.
a flying pot that we could put a little bonsai tree in.
Okay.
And that could be our bird.
Okay. I would like you to just roll a D100 for me. If you get 75 or higher, I'll figure out something like that for you. Because that's an idea.
We're going to do pizza for real for dinner.
Oh,
Okay.
What?
there you
I guess I'm doing something for you. She rolled a 90, folks. Okay. So
Poor horrible, horrible wizard has crossfitted a bird and a planter, but sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, well, and you know Zasa. You know the kind of things Zasa does.
I do.
So, I'm sure she has some sort of weird friend who's done something like this before. She doesn't have many friends. I would say maybe an acquaintance. A business associate.
Plenty of friends. Leave the lizard wizard alone, you horrible DM.
Harsh.
Zasa has all of you as friends, but other researchers don't like her.
What?
It's true.
So-
No.
All of
It's
them.
very
The
true.
Spyglass
Other
lady
wizards.
liked you?
She did, but that's because she.
It's because you're likable, Zasa.
That's true. Let us love you.
All right, so
Other researchers of the Sisterhood of the Scythe do not like me.
Well, fuck them. They're terrible.
Well, it's justified.
Zasa.
I was supposed to monitor my experiment and the experiment of my roommate, and my roommate's experiment was very noisy, so I silenced her experiment. And then I stopped paying attention to her and focused on my experiment, and she was dead in the morning, and I don't know what happened. And everyone blames me.
Oh.
That was something
why
new
would
to
they blame
find
you?
out.
Yeah.
That was an accident, wasn't it?
I mean, I didn't kill her. I don't think.
Then it was an accident. It's not your fault. I don't know why they'd hate you for it.
It's manslaughter at worst.
Lizard slaughter.
Involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah.
I guess
And that can
technically it would
happen
have
to
been
anyone.
involuntary elf slaughter.
Sorry about your roommate.
Yeah. She was nice.
Either way, not your fault. So fuck them.
all right,
Yeah,
so
that's why I don't have many friends.
More in
Well-
China.
But you do
People are
know
stupid.
someone who can make the bonsai planter.
Oh, definitely.
Delightful. We'll need one.
So you'll be able to Zasa, after this little meeting, you can just basically think of whatever whoever you think would have that kind of knowledge. I don't know. And you can send them a letter to hopefully they'll be able to meet up with you for a bonsai planter of the flying variety because Megan rolled great. I told you I'd give it to you, and I'm no liar. So, all right. You see, Morin is laughing a little bit, just kind of at the entire premise. Well, they are certainly inventive, and seen as like they are. They're that I think that's part of what drew me to them. Why I thought they'd make they'd be worthwhile to the cause that we have here. They are full of ideas.
Right now, what I'm full of is concern. You are getting overtime and benefits, right? Is there a union of druids and rangers that's looking after you? Because you, frankly, look like a wreck, darling.
Well, doing good sometimes is its own reward, but I do get compensated. It's just been a rough month, as it were. A lot of things, the ambush and just trying to find more pieces. My knowledge is running thin, at least at the moment. And, the longer we tarry, the more the pieces are found by others. And, I'm sure as you've all seen, Mormo's followers are everywhere. Looking for them, getting to them.
Do you know which pieces have already been gotten by others?
It's a tricky business. I can assume that, some pieces that I've tracked down have already been gotten. But I can't know for sure until we check. You all have been incredibly lucky. These are the ones that I am almost certain are there, as certain as I can be. I've surveyed the areas as much as I can. I've followed the lore. I've checked, the plant life in the area as much as I can without being there myself. And they're the places that seem to still have that very strong sense of Mormo. But there's other places that I'm less sure of that have that bit of illicit magic, that poisonous influence there, but it's not as strong, or it's more spread out, and I can't be certain whether that's because the piece is gone, or if it's because it's some sort of larger piece or something that's underground, perhaps. There's so many different things it can be, and I'm it's a lot of questions for me to answer, and I try to answer them all before I send you all, but it's not an exact science.
You know approximately where in the Perforated Planes? I mean, it is...
Oh, yes, it's quite large. I do have an idea, and she pulls out a map and kind of spreads it on the table. This is where I sent Yasi, Pax, and the rest. And, she's pointing to a place, and I'll take you all to the map briefly, so I can show you. Let's see. So, what she's saying is that it's near the sinkhole of Nan. It's not in the sinkhole of Nan, but it is nearby. It's probably somewhere in this area, from what she's been able to gather. There are some, greener patches in this area that are, unlike other areas of the Perforated Plains, which are pretty barren and desolate. But there is a lot more greenery in this area. It has, that poisonous influence. And so she's thinking it's right around here, near the sinkhole of Nan, but not actually at it. And she marks that on the map for you, kind of circles the area that she sent Yasi, Pax, Thenia, Tema, and Pip to. And, she slides the map across the table to give it to all of you.
I think they have good bread there.
Very flat, though.
Well, yes. The sinkhole of Nan.
I hear that they have quite a delicious unleavened bread. Quite tasty.
Well, yeast this.
It's perfect with curry and other dishes. It's very good.
You'd be really crummy if you went out there for nothing.
All right.
Megan's going to kill me before the end of the night.
You have a very wry sense of humor.
It's true.
How many bread puns can we get?
It's okay, I'm just trying to get a rise out of all.
Karen gets up and leaves the tavern.
Look what you've done. You've bagged it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay.
Let me get back to my notes.
Yeah. Question.
Answer.
Do you have a recommendation for a way to get there?
Yes, I do. There's a couple of easy ways, or, as easy as it gets. Let me get you all back to the map. Okay, the stream back to the map anyway. You were still there. So, Sina is saying that it looks to be about here. And there's two options for how you can do it. She doesn't recommend going through the fouled forest. That seems like a very bad idea. But she thinks that you could all follow the river up, the river that's right next to Meliad. Basically take a boat and get to about here. And then trek the rest of the way to here. It wouldn't be too long of a walk, maybe about 2 days. And the boat ride would be a nice leisurely break for you all. Or you could go back around through the pass again and go up, but it would probably take more time since you've already come back, and going on a trip down the river would be way easier on you. So she's recommending take the river up, go over.
Surprisingly, I am proficient with water vehicles.
That is surprising.
Manticora. Okay. You're like a big cat with the water.
Yeah, they can swim.
Yeah, they actually like water. Some big cats really love water. Right, so Sinkle of Naan, place to get flatbread.
Yes, I do recommend going up the river. It will be a much easier trek for you. I'll give you a little bit of time to, relax, recoup, probably about a day, day and a half. And you'd be able to, kind of get to the Perforated Planes with a little bit more rest under your belts instead of, one mission to the next. I know it must be hard on you all, but you've been so effective. I'm loath not to, keep giving you missions.
Well, don't worry, we'll keep an even keel.
We need to add like a warning for puns or something at this point.
I'm really sorry. My best read out like 6 hours ago.
Goodness. You're lucky I like puns. All right. So, let me just get to my notes here. Basically, that's about all they have to tell you right now. You can ask more questions if you have any, but they've basically said their piece. I'll let you know the things they needed to let you know. But if there's anything in particular you want to ask, you can. Otherwise, they would just buy you all a meal, and let you enjoy that before sending you on your way to send a letter to Zasa's acquaintance about flying pottery.
I would like a quick word with the party as we step out, but beyond that.
I want to ask Senna, give her the descriptions of the adventurers that tried to steal the horses from that lady, and see if they're perhaps another party that they may have sent out.
You give the description of that party, what you were able to get from Wendy, and you actually, and now that you're recounting it, you find that it's pretty close to Yasi and Pax's party. Maybe not exactly. Maybe they had a couple members switch out. But on the whole, it kind of sounds like a similar party. Cena's like, well, that does sound like them. I'm not certain why they would have tried to steal horses. I mean, maybe something was going on. I mean, they didn't tell me, but I've been a little bit out of touch ever since the ambush.
Has their pay not been forthcoming?
Well, I pay as much as I can upon receiving the goods back. They've yet to, successfully get me anything. And, as you all know, finding goods at the Serpentholds are, the main way I pay you all. So they've been a little bit less lucky. Unfortunately, a couple places I sent them were the less sure places, and it turned up empty. So perhaps if they were, trying to steal horses, God forbid, perhaps it was due to need, or maybe it was shortly after I gave them this information about the planes and they wanted to get there quickly. I honestly can't be certain. I haven't had contact since they got the mission.
So how long ago was it that that Wendy gave us the description? What was the time frame?
I'd probably say that was around maybe 2 weeks ago, because you all took most of your journeys were pretty quick. You had about 3 days here, 3 days there. The journeys between cities were about a day. So probably the last time, when you heard about this, she said it was about a week ago that it happened. So you'd be looking at about 2 to 3 weeks, right within the time frame of when Cena's saying, it would have been after she talked to them. She hasn't talked to them in over 2 weeks now, and actually gotten a response back.
Okay.
That's actually concerning.
It's very concerning. I'm worried.
Me too.
All right. Do you think that's the last round of questions, or anyone have anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Good.
So, Perforated Planes take the river.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Flying bonsai plant.
Well, I do hope you're able to find something. That would certainly be quite an interesting idea. You know, it would be able to fly, get to the closest tree, talk to it, and then relay the messages. If you do find something like that, I do hope you'll share. We can certainly use it for in these difficult situations where Cena can't get in contact with her adventurers.
Just a quick question. What happens if all the pieces come together? If the,
If all the
you know,
pieces...
Mormo gets to come back, what happens?
If all the pieces are joined, well, chances are she returns back to this plane. She is still here, as it were, in pieces, separated, less powerful. But if she were to be joined back together, she would regain her former power. She would be able to continue where she left off, perhaps start a new war. You know, it's the last thing we want, where we're still healing from the last one. But, yes, if she were able to come back, she could, you know, she could work from the shadows. That is sort of her deal. But it would be... It would mean many deaths, I'm afraid. And so, you know, we hope not to have that happen. Certainly there are some who do wish it to happen. That she was their patron. She was their god. And, you know, cutthroats, assassins, people of that like are often drawn to her, you know, that quest for power. So there would be those who would seek her out once she was back. And it might give way to more crime, more violence. But that's just speculation. Really, it is just a case of if she's brought back together, she is in one piece again, and she is able to act as she would have back before she was torn apart. I assume some sort of ritual may be needed to actually fuse those pieces. We're not exactly certain what their plans are, but it would just be a case of keep those pieces not touching, please, and that's what we're trying to do.
Right. Well, thank you for your time. I'll get on this.
Don't be so hard on Senna.
Well, I will certainly take that advisement. You are her greatest success, after all, and it was lovely to meet you.
Darling, a little bit of advice.
Yes.
Spend less time charming us and more time doing your job. Have a good evening.
She gives you a bit of a dirty look as you leave.
I return it with absolute prejudice.
Cena
Thanks for the meal.
gives you all a little bit, gives you like kind of like a, oh bye kind of wave.
Before I leave the tavern,
Mhm.
I'm gonna pause briefly at the door and use my new ability, Whisper of the Heart.
Okay.
To speak very, very quietly into the back of Cena's head.
Okay.
Look, darling, if she gives you any trouble, give us a ring, alright? We're never too far away. I'll just quietly step out.
You see her look grateful for that. She doesn't seem like she's afraid of her boss, but, you know, she is in trouble. And knowing that you all have her back is a nice thought.
Right. So we're all into the street.
All right. Let's see. Zasa, so you're going to reach out to one of your acquaintances, maybe someone from your prior studies or someone you've met along the way.
Harvish.
Okay. Are you going to just write like kind of a standard letter asking if he's done anything like this, or do you know for a fact if they have?
Harvish's experiments included aerial bombardment as well as delivery services, although
Okay.
they were grossly inefficient. So they never went into mass service, but they got the job done.
Okay. Okay, so you're able to write a letter to Tarvish, was it? Okay, Tarvish. You're able to write a letter to him, just, you know, being like, I think you know about this. Tarvish, okay, cool. That's what I wrote. I gotcha. And you would have to bring that to the post office to send it on its way. But you think given where you last remember Tarvish being, you think you would hear back, probably by the time you're getting off the riverboat, if you immediately went to the boat, or if you stuck around here for a couple days, you would hear back as well. So you can kind of do either, and you think you'd hear back before you actually reached the plains.
Did we... When was the researcher supposed to have information about the Spyglass?
She said
Was that weeks or
Yeah, she
days?
said she'd be getting back to you soon. She expected to take maybe about a week. So you're getting close to that that amount of time. Like she thinks it should be soon. Or from when you last heard. So it is something where she didn't know an exact time, but she thought maybe a week or two, and you're coming up on, I think, about a week now from when you last spoke to her.
Okay, so it'd be worth checking in before we took off.
Yeah. Yeah, you could certainly check in before you took off. Or you know that she did say she would send you a bird once she knew for sure. So either would work.
Does anyone want to go to the library before we leave?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
at least arrange river passage?
Sure.
We could get you more of those books, Kevin.
I don't want them. I mean, I'll go with you, but libraries are just...
I know, so dreadfully boring, aren't they?
Yes.
But you seemed like you had fun last time.
I mean, it was fine to pass the time while you guys were doing other stuff, but... I'll go
What
with
if the
you.
pictures in the books moved? Would that change your mind?
That's not a thing.
Actually, is a thing.
It's not.
They're
I've never seen
rare.
it.
I mean, they're
Oh.
very rare books. They make books that you open that they play music in as well. I've only seen one of them before.
You can look out for it.
Oh no, I don't think we'll be able to find it. It was back home and it was an elf thing.
It's a
I
good
said
library. We might be able to find some.
I didn't know that Manticora and elves could, like...
Reproduce?
Yeah.
I mean... He's
I've
a
never
man.
seen any mixed Manticora. I've only seen Manticora.
Maybe you've never noticed.
Well, I only really have met the ones from my clan, so...
Maybe you and your family need to branch out more.
I don't want to think about that. I'm very young.
Are you?
How old are you? Shaho?
Probably like early 20s.
Oh. How long do Manticora live? This seems insensitive.
Let me find out, actually. Probably a standard lifespan.
Yeah, I think they have a standard lifespan. I can check for you though.
They have 9 lives.
This
They
is
have
a
not
good
looked.
library question.
Yeah, that could be a good library question.
Let's
Actually
find
do
out
research
at
on
the
each other's
library.
species.
Let's go to the library.
Few live over a century. Manticora mature in their late teens.
Okay, yeah, so they're, around human lifespan.
Right, library.
All right, so the library was in Ethelwald, which was one town over from Meliad.
Oh, right.
Oh, right.
So that would take a little bit of travel. You would have about a day's travel to get to Ethelwald, and then you would have to come back to the river. But you could meet up with the river at another port. They do have a couple different ports on the river. So
We have lizards and a zebra now. We actually could probably make that faster. Because last time we walked.
you could. It'd probably only take a quarter to a half a day, depending on the speed that you go.
Delightful.
Seems worth it.
Yeah.
After all, if the Spyglass is ready, it could come in handy.
It could, yes. Did that new lady seem rather suspect?
I rolled a 3. I don't know.
Well, no, just the whole how she was pouring on the charm. Like, trust me, I know a con artist when I see one. She was telling the truth, but something about her just seemed very, very off. Like
She
was very...
seemed like a manager to me, or maybe like someone in sales. I don't know.
Right. Well,
But if she was in sales, then what is she selling us?
Image.
That she's not gonna beat Cena's butt
she better not.
when she is.
I told her we have her back. Look, I figure Cena's trustworthy enough. We've worked with her for, what, a while now.
Well, now we've decided we trust her.
No, I trust her more than I trust that person that was with her, though. Cena at least seems like she's trying to do the right thing. This woman just seemed like useless middle management bullshit. So, excuse my language.
Cena did kind of save our lives. Well, some of our lives.
Cena? Well, yes. That's besides the point. It just seemed... This whole thing just seemed off.
Well, do you want to do some research on that place where they're taking the pieces?
Yes, absolutely.
And they didn't have an organization name, but I bet they actually do.
No,
and they just weren't telling us.
Oh, the people who are trying to...
Druids.
Yeah.
Druids against Mormo unification.
No, and they did mention the Earth Mother. That's
Damu?
Denev, right?
Damu?
Denev, right? Is
Yes,
the
they
Earth
mentioned.
Mother. So they're probably just a circle of druids that belong to Denev. Just a shot in the dark.
Something else for somebody smarter than me to look up.
Well, it won't be me because I've got the approximate intelligence of a tadpole today, so...
We all turn and look at Zasa.
Yeah.
The
up.
gang goes to the library.
Okay, so what information once you got to the library would you be trying to look up specifically?
Druid cults or organizations of Denev that were in some kind of either affiliation or conflict with Mormo. Any books with moving pictures.
Okay.
I'll roll a D100 for that if you want.
Okay, I would like a D100 for the moving picture book. I think that's another a flying plant type of deal. So over 75, you can find one.
Ooh.
Oh, 53. But you've heard of one as well. With the 53, you've heard of one as well, but you don't know where to find one. You can maybe keep out an eye for it.
Try to find a book of songs that actually plays the music at you.
Yes, I think for that'd be a little bit less difficult than moving pictures. So anything over 65. You know they exist because you've seen one, but you don't know where to get one. At least not here.
Not in Gelspad, at least.
Yeah, not here.
Okay.
But you know they do exist. All right, so you are able to make the journey to Ethelwald pretty easily. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick break so you can get up, get drinks, go to the bathroom, whatever. And when we get back, we can talk more about what you find at the library and what information you can get from Keela. So let me just put us to the away screen. We get to use the Be Right Back for the first time. I'll be back in about 5 minutes, I'd say. Just a quick break. back. We had a lovely break where we all, did the things that we must do to sit down for 3 hours and do this. But we're back now, and the party is going to the library. They have traveled to Ethelwald. They basically have no trouble getting there. They are much faster now that they have riding lizards and a zebra. Which still, every time I say it, I'm like, I gave you a zebra. But, yeah, you're able to make it. The library is just as you remember it. It does have the little sign out front that says no food or drink. And, it's just that beautiful structure that you saw before that looks very cavernous before you get on inside. So, Zasa, I know that you have a couple of different things that you're looking to look into. What would you like the information on first?
Probably on the Druidic organizations, because learning whether or not we should be doing this is probably more important than finding out how to do it.
Okay. So you, given your researcher status, you are able to find, where this information would be. You don't necessarily know it off the top of your head. You know vaguely of Denev and things like that. You know enough as what the standard person would know, but you really haven't researched it yet. You are able to go to various places in the library. You're able to get some books on religion, some books on history, and just some kind of accounts of druids and things like that. What you're able to find while you're doing this is that, let's see. Here we go. Okay, so one thing that you learned is that Denev, known as the Earth Mother, is the last remaining Titan. You probably knew this before. This is kind of common knowledge. Denev is the last remaining Titan because she was on the side of the gods during the war. She is the Earth Mother because she is kind of a god of creation, a god of nature. She never wanted the war, but she sided with the sentient races, the people who were fighting against the Titans. And after the war, she was believed to be buried within the earth in the forest of Veratray. This is where a bunch of it's a big colony of elves. Essentially, they all live there. They worship Denev, and they are the caretakers of her body, keeping her safe to make sure nobody tries to mess with her. Essentially, she is still powerful. She is still aware, but she is kind of sleeping. She's not interacting with the world as much because, in a way, the time of the Titans is done. She's just hanging out in the woods. She'll pop up if needed, but on the whole, she's not touching things. So, very few outsiders have stepped foot in this forest since the convention of Veratray nearly a century ago. So, to get into Veratray is a very difficult process. But there are probably a handful of non-elven druids who've been able to get in there. And from what you're researching, you believe that this group of druids and elves would probably be associated with Veratray. You don't know for certain, but they did mention Denev specifically, and the first elf you met was Sina, and she looks like she could have been from Veratray, given the clothing that she was wearing, the way she carries herself. It kind of matches the culture of Veratray. You do read in the reports that Veratray is a gorgeous city with ornate houses that actually grow within giant trees. When they interact with outsiders, the wood elves speak little of their woodland home, so Veratray's current status is unknown to outsiders. You don't know too much about it, but that's what it was like during the convention, and that was over 100 years ago. So this forest is called the Ganges, Ganjus, and it is without the doubt the safest and most secure forest in all of Galespad, thanks to the elves. So it seems like this group would probably be affiliated with the Ganges elves, and, with Veritray. They're perhaps doing this on behalf of Denev, because she's not going to get out there and stop these people on her own. She doesn't want to meddle, because that's another way to start a war. But at the same time, given that no one's gone into Veritray that wasn't an elf or a very select few people, they wouldn't want to bring the pieces to them, because bringing the pieces to them would mean contaminating their own homeland, which is not something they would do. So that's basically what you learn about that group. You also learn that historically there was a war between the Ganges elves and the Ketite druids. The Ketite druids were they were some evil druids, essentially. They were druids that followed titans, and they are possibly known to be cannibals. It was hinted that they were cannibals, although no one really knows for sure because they've been in seclusion ever since that war. That war was the reason why there was why that convention at Veritray happened, was because of that war. That's about all you gather, though, is that there are evil druids who possibly could be helping Mormo, but the ones that are with Denev are probably from the Ganges, and there's druids and elves who follow Denev still, as the Earth Mother. Ugh, words. So that's what you know about that. What else do you want to look up? I know you wanted to look up the Perforated Planes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what you would learn about the planes in your research is that... Let me get to the right part. The Perforated Planes are named for thousands of rents and tears, sinkholes, as well as inexplicable shafts, chutes, and pits that pockmark the land, which are the result of eldritch storms that raged through the plains. These are some storms that happened during the war, probably due to the wrath of some titan or another, that basically destroyed the land. It was once a bountiful, probably like a grassy plain, but now it's kind of a barren wasteland full of pits, sinkholes, and various other dangerous ground, I guess. You would know that despite this perforation, some wildlife has started to return to the region. So there are probably still patches of trees. They're just not, frequent. And that's why Sina has trouble getting messages across. And there are less savory wildlife in the area as well. There's swarms of blood moths and other insects that flutter through the plains during the warmer spring and summer months. But there are also deer and foxes year-round. There are some titan spawn in the area, such as Churn's children. So that would be the Titan Churn. So you would know that could be things like flesh corruptors or various things like that. They have kind of chosen this land as their own and have no interest in leaving. They want it to stay kind of gross and awful, because that's what they do. Churn would be someone who is kind of similar to Marmo in that it's like disease and I believe like war, but not specifically like glorious war. Yeah, that's about all you know about the Perforated Plains. It's just a really damaged area that was once, a bountiful, beautiful plain, and it's now just a wasteland. It is getting better, though. It has been improving over time, but it's still pretty messed up.
Okay. And Marigold was looking for a bardic college in Ethelwald.
You were looking for... Oh, yeah. So you were looking for more bard stuff?
Yes.
Okay. What are you looking for specifically?
Mostly just that smaller subsection of the College of Mourners.
Okay. Marigold, you're able to talk to the reception desk. And the reception desk at the library says, Yeah. We have some information about that smaller subsection, that college. Right this way. They take you directly to this small section that's within the kind of like the area that's more dedicated towards bars. It has a lot of music. It has a lot of the arts, in one section of the library. And there is just an area on Bardic colleges. There they have just about every subsection you could think of, and it is all right there. So you have, books on basically every college that is available. And you'd be able to find information that you're looking for there.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else looking for anything in particular while you're here?
I want to go to the periodicals section.
Periodicals? Okay.
Yes,
What do you?
newspapers.
All right. What are you looking for in periodicals?
Sports. I want to see if they've covered anything from the most recent All-Star Squatter League tournaments.
Yes, in fact, you are able to find the periodical section. Sports doesn't have a super huge section, but it does look like it's well kept. It looks like somebody in the library likes hanging out in this section. And you're able to find that they do have some newspapers on the ASS League. Giving you...
I'm a big ass fan myself, so this is like great news.
So, yeah, you're able to find, recent scores, who's won tournaments, as well as, there's some great illustrations, showing off some of the big names in the ASS League. I think you're able to find some pretty good information. They do have essentially a magic copier that you're able to transcribe, specific images or documentation. If you would like to have some things transcribed for you, it would cost a couple gold pieces, though.
There's just a lot to take in here that might be easier with repeated viewings later on. So yeah, she'll go make some copies.
Okay, good. Good. Yeah, you're able to make some copies. You have to feed in a little a gold piece for each 10 copies you're making. So you're able to do one, do another, and then just have to put in a new one each time you're making it. About how much gold do you think you spend? If it's about 10 gold, it's about 1 gold per 10 pages.
If it's 1 for 10.
Yeah, 1 for 10.
I mean,
It's a really good deal.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can get some good road reading. Let's do 50 pages.
All right. So you give 3 gold to the little magic Xerox machine. I thought. Oh, you said 50.
50.
I thought you said 30. All right. You give 5 gold. Yeah, there's a boat ride coming up. You're getting ready.
We got time to kill.
A metric butt ton, in fact.
A butt ton of an assload of time to kill.
Need a buttload of...
So you give your 5 gold. You're able to, transcribe 50 pages all about the ASS League. The All-Star Squatters. You have all the squatting information you need, I think, for quite a while.
Yeah, she's gonna go just get that. I'm sure they have a 3-hole punch or something.
Oh, yeah.
She can just get that bounds, and yeah, she's good to go.
Oh, yeah, they have a punch. If you need a binder for it, that cost a couple silver. But they do have the supplies.
Yeah, she'll put down the money for that. This seems like a solid investment.
Good. You want to make sure it stays nice and dry. You're going on the river after all, so
exactly.
You'd hate to ruin this investment.
Into some little page protection.
Yeah.
This should take up enough time while Zoss is doing her research. Karen can do important things too.
Very important. So important. You don't even know how important it is. All right. What is Shaho doing?
So Shaho kind of just realized that she doesn't know much about Manticoras outside of her own family line and clan. So she's just gonna check out general information about Manticoras and how the world kind of views them.
All right. So you're you're able to find a couple of volumes. You're able to basically just find like an encyclopedia, first off, that just, you're able to find Manticore in an I can say that word, encyclopedia. And you basically read the entry that's about Manticores. You hear that, I'll read exactly what you read. Okay, so what you find is that the Manticore are a race of sentient lion folk, a humanoid cross between great cats and humans. There's my dog barking. They hail originally from the Blood Steeps and may still dwell there, but today they can be found elsewhere across Gelspad, though particularly on the Perforated Planes and in the Haggard Hills. This race was once the chosen of Vangel, and the Manticore fought ably beside their father during the Divine War. With the Titans defeated, and Vangel more or less having left them to their own devices, the Manticore have begun to civilize themselves, engaging with the Divine races and settling into semi-permanent towns and cities. They are a race of transition, ready to take the next steps forward as a people. Basically, you learn a little bit about how the world still thinks that maybe you have some work to do, but just because the war isn't that far off, and as a Titan spawn, as a Titan race, they do view you a little bit harshly, but they view you certainly better than some Titan races. So,
I'm probably gonna spot a lot of them in the Perforated Planes.
Yeah, you might find some. It's certainly, there might be some other Manticore groups in the Perforated Planes, as well as the Haggard Hills, if you end up going there.
We need a giant box.
A giant box. Ooh, perfect.
I will not share.
You also know, it takes a little bit more work. But you do also find that the Manticore are traditionally pretty nomadic still. Each pride is led by the strongest male in the group, although some powerful females have turned this rule on its head. There are some notable exceptions that are listed in the book, that have words gotten around, like, oh, this one's a female-led pride. And then you also see that there are some towns and villages in the Haggard Hills especially that are engaging in regular trade. But there are the ones in the Perforated Planes can be known to be more violent and possibly still loyal to Vangel. So it's kind of like they've separated themselves a little bit. The ones in the Haggard Hills are on the whole conforming to what is current society, whereas some of the ones in the Perforated Planes are a bit more, can be more loyal to Vangel still, and still kind of living in the warlike mentality. Let's see. They have, the ones that are in the Perforated Planes, have made a peace pact with, a race of centaur-like Leonin creatures that are in that area. Which is, certainly interesting. I don't actually know what those are. It also says the Manticores admire storytellers and keepers of history, because they, as a race, as Titan spawn, haven't existed for very long. They're pretty
such
new.
a big fan of Marigold.
Yes. You're looking for knowledge.
Also,
Scalds and bards are common among them, and they're incredibly valued. But the Manticore generally prefer oral tradition over written, just because they haven't been around that long. So I think generally the songs and things like that come first before you start writing manuscripts. That's about what you find on Manticore in general. You also are able to find some information about what happens when there is a Manticora and a non-Manticora who have babies. There isn't much information specifically about Manticora, but there are some notable cases. There have been one of the female-led Manticora prides is led by a half Manticora. You find that her name is Helena, and she is in the Haggard Hills. So she is a well-known half Manticora. There are a couple others that are unnamed, they're just mentioned in some battles that happened during the war. And then there are, it just basically describes how there can be, it can be something that happens a lot or not very rarely. No one really knows because it's so hard to tell whether someone is completely Manticora or not, because they might just look totally like a Manticora, or they might look like something in between, or they might look completely like whatever the rest of that mix was, like an elf or an orc or a Asathi. I think that one would be certainly weird.
Scale Kitty.
Scale Kitty. But yeah,
Sounds
so
like good armor.
that would be good armor.
And insane decks.
Yes. But yeah, so that's about what you're able to find. You now know that there are some different groups of Manticora, basically, and you learned a little bit about how you're still a pretty new group of people, given that, it took a while for you to start kind of leaving Vangle. Just because, Vangle on the whole, he wasn't that great, but he was better than some of the Titan spawn, so... I mean, some of the Titans. So, you weren't as quick to flee him after the war was over. All right. Kai, last but not least, what would you be looking for, if anything? Or what would you be doing if you're not looking for something?
Actually, I am looking for the latest chapter in the Letters to Jessel. And so last time it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm really hoping the new chapter is in, because I'm ready to read. We've got this boat ride.
Oh yes.
And yes.
Yes. So you are able to find this. It is on the new books little station. You have the new parts of books in this case. So you do find that the new chapter is out. It is quite thick, and you think that that cliffhanger is going to be resolved. But there may be another one. Who knows? You are able to check that out though, and you are able to bring it with you.
Okay.
But you would have to return it, or you could use the magical manuscript maker to copy pages.
Let's do the magical manuscript maker, because I have to keep this.
Okay, magical manuscript.
Collection.
So, I would say, how long was the last chapter you read?
The last chapter actually was pretty long as well. So I think that one was probably about 60 pages in that chapter.
Okay. So this one is a little bit longer. You're looking at about 75 pages. So it would cost you 7 gold and 5 silver to copy these over. And if you want a binder for it, you can use a 3-hole punch for free, but the binder's about 3 silver as well. So that'd be 7 gold, 8 silver.
Let's do it.
All right. So you take those pages over, you start copying. You're there for a while, but you're gonna have your chapter to read when you're on the book. Hold on 1 second. Feel free to talk amongst your...
I'm actually going to kill my next door neighbor.
Oh Lord.
Don't admit that on a stream.
I'm not gonna actually.
We heard nothing. No.
But can you hear that?
Yeah, when
What
Is
you
it
talk.
grass cutting time? Leaf blower?
Literally always out there doing some kind of bullshit to his immaculate lawn. I'm like, dude, you have a problem.
Everybody, look at the link I posted in our stream chat.
I want one. Can I get one in black?
Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want.
Delightful.
I sent a prototype All-Star Squatters League t-shirt to the group.
Oh my god.
All right, so I'm back. Sorry about that. There was a phone call. Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm not
It's
sure.
perfect.
The only life insurance we should have is North.
Can you share the link in the chat, Kurt?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Give me just a moment.
Share with our viewers.
Let me get that.
This is better than
Where is it here?
It's in the Discord.
Oh, is it the
Discord,
Discord? Oh, okay, I was looking at Zoom chat.
Yeah.
Yes, let me get this for you.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, here
I've
it
been
is.
doing important work while we've been lore dropping.
I love it. I want this shirt.
You can order it. You can also change the you could do whatever you want.
I might
was just putting it out in the universe.
So if you want your All-Star Squatter shirt, you can get that through that link. And I hope you all enjoy it for the All-Star Squatters League.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, everybody's able to accomplish their goals. Zasa, you've learned a lot of information. Shaho, you've learned a lot. Marigold, I assume you're able to find the bardic information you need to do the things you want to do. Hopefully. And Kai, you have your new chapter of your book to read. And Caravan, you know everything you need to know about the current goings and comings of the All-Star Squatters League. You know it all. And you have the receipts to match.
Yes.
All right. So you're basically able to learn what you needed to there. Are you going to go look for Keela, who was the one who was working on the Spyglass for you?
Yes.
Okay. So last time you found Keela, she was upstairs at one of the research tables. You can certainly ask around, see if she's still there. Or she might be at home. She might not necessarily be here right now. You would have to ask to see, though.
Yeah, I mean, might as well ask.
Okay. So you go up to the reference desk, and this time there is a young woman with big glasses on. She's like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Hi. We were looking to find Keela. She was working on a project, or we were collaborating on a project.
Oh, yes, Keela's always working. Let me check what time it is. Sometimes she goes out for lunch, and she spins around on her chair, finds the nearest timepiece, and checks it. She's like, right about this time, she is usually at her house, so I would, I don't want to give out her address necessarily, but she will be back in about 20 minutes if she's sticking to her usual schedule, and she should be able to meet you. I can always direct her over to you if you want to go pick a spot in the library to sit.
Sure, that would be fantastic.
Alrighty, perfect. Who should I let her know is waiting?
Zasa.
Zasa? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
2 S's? Or
Yes.
1 S? 2 S's? Okay, perfect. Alright, thank you. I will let her know. So you're able to go wait in whatever section of the library you like. The receptionist, the reference librarian, will let you know, or let Keela know once she gets there. It takes about 20 minutes to a half hour, but then you hear someone calling out, "Sasa? Sasa?"
Hi.
Oh, hi, there you are. Oh, I am so glad to see you all.
Oh, good.
Hello, darling.
Hello. Oh, I'm really happy that you're here. Well, so I was actually about to send you a message. I've basically figured it out. I know what this is.
Wonderful.
Oh?
Can I take a look at it again?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, perfect. And she pulls out her little mat again, puts the spyglass on it, and then just basically like she does some hand motions, mumbles a little bit. It seems like she's double checking her findings, and then her head pops back up and she's like, "I was right. Okay, this is so exciting. You don't even know." She seems a lot more energetic than the last time you saw her. It looks like she's very excited about this. What you have here is a very special spyglass. It's actually one that was thought to be lost at sea. I don't know how you came by it.
Long story, but what does it do?
Oh, so many things. You don't even know. It will take us a little bit to fix it, but I know someone who can, so we're in the clear there. And she pulls out a book that was, like in her bag, and she flips to a page. And there you see some text about Vaughn Bloodbeard Vasilev, who was a pirate on the Blood Sea, probably about 50 or so years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And
of the devouring reef bloodbeards.
Yes. You've heard of him. Yes. So he, Vaughn, he was a very ferocious pirate, vicious, but a very playful opponent who would outwit those who tried to fight him as often as he would kill them. So sometimes they get away, unhurt, but usually very embarrassed. Some say that the god Enkili gave him his knowledge and skill. Others say it was that luck was simply on his side. But I think this item is part of what gave Vaughn his power. I think it's a very special boon. And she kind of points to the book, and you see that there is a drawing of Vaughn with the Spyglass. It looks very similar to the one you have, just newer. It looks like it's been kind of beat up since it's been about 50 years since this was drawn, maybe more. And she's like, okay, so I can't be exactly certain. I think this is what it is, but this is a divination spyglass, which makes sense. Without the components in it, it is just a normal spyglass. You can just see out of it. You get that kind of weird magic feeling from it, but it doesn't really do anything else for you. But once we fix this lens, and once I basically get my friend to recast the enchantments on it, basically like refresh that magic, get it going again, give it a little bit extra juice, this spyglass is going to let you do one of four things. It has the ability to cast Fortune's Favor. It can cast Clairvoyance. It can cast Legend Lore or True Seeing. You only get to do one a day, but this is a very powerful item. I think what I'm figuring here is, I don't know for certain. I wouldn't be the one to check, but I think if a devout follower of Enkili were to use this, they would be able to basically not activate it twice, but get a better chance of getting the right spell. So if any of you follow Enkili, this is the item for you. Otherwise, it'll still work. But basically, this is Enkili's way of getting a little bit of luck on the side of somebody that he wants to help. And I can link you all to this item to tell you what that actually means canonically.
Lovely.
Let me just get this. I'm going to put this in the Discord for you. Oh, I'm so glad you put your name on it for yours, Shawnee. That's lovely. I love it. So what you have is Vaughn's Spyglass. It's currently broken, but Keela thinks she knows somebody who can fix it. So, this is a really fascinating item. Thank you so much for letting me work on this for my thesis.
Oh,
absolutely.
Glad we could be of help.
It's practically a piece of history. It's in the book, but not many people know about it. People are going to say, oh, that's not Vaughn's Spyglass. But, I have the proof right here. It's in the pudding. Once we fix this, as long as I can get a record of it working, we are good to go.
So, how long do you think it'll take to fix it?
Well, I think that once we just get the new glass, it looks like this glass is a little bit particular. We'll have to order that. But beyond that, my friend, he should be able to kind of reignite the magic after we get that new glass in there. It maybe take about a day. If you like, I can order this piece for you. I did a calculation of cost. It looks like we're looking at about 30 gold just for that new lens. But after that, I can, once I get that piece in, I can send you all a message, and you can meet me at my friend's place. He lives right on the border river. We'd be able to meet up there.
Oh. Convenient.
Oh, is it?
We were planning on traveling along the border river, so...
Oh, perfect. It will take me a little bit of time to get the glass. It's coming from pretty far away. But I will send you a message as soon as I get it. Just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for my bird. I'll let you know. I am so excited to do this. I mean, I'll probably head over to my friend's place early. We can start planning. I'm so excited.
Wonderful. Well, here's the 30 gold for the glass, so that you don't have to front that cost.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I would have, but I am a poor college student.
I understand.
Do you have any sort of repair fee? Does your friend have repair fees?
Well, I think he'll just want to study it as well. It might be something where, I haven't discussed it with him at length. We have talked a little bit, through messages. But I think it would be a little bit of, he's happy to do it because restoring a piece of history. But he would want to study it some, kind of like I am with my thesis. So, it would be, he might want to, keep it for a day or two. Or, if you could bring it back to him if you need it immediately, it wouldn't need to be immediately. He would, basically he just wanted to come back to him someday so he can get a good look at it, get some good notes, learn a little bit more about it.
Tell you what, if I hand you, let's say, another 25 gold or so, because you are a college student and I know how that goes, will that make your life easier?
Well, I mean, if you're offering, I really, I do need new books.
Repair costs, books, research, legwork.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that'd be great. I need some new books, and the new semester's coming up really fast.
Marigold's already actually fishing in his pockets, and just hands over a bag of gold that might be a little heavier than he implied that it might be. Look, darling, if you have a skill, never do it for free.
Oh, well, thank you. I needed it for my research, but the money's not so bad either.
Right. You're genuinely quite skilled and knowledgeable. Don't let anyone take advantage of you.
Some people say I'm too nice.
No such thing as too nice, but it's always good to be... what's the word? I need a word. Aware?
Vigilant?
Of your worth.
Well, I mean, I'm still just a student, but I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
No problem. I think of it this way. People tend to take advantage of students and, use them for free labor and all of that stuff. It's highly unethical, and I don't support it. So, the more of you band together and say, no, we are actually, despite our inexperienced, skilled tradespeople, and we know our craft, the more of you get together and say, no, we won't work for free, we won't be taken advantage of, the more you're going to make life better, not only for yourself, but for other people.
Oh.
Maybe you could come together in some sort of, union.
So, yes.
Student union.
Some sort of
Student
union. That's a fantastic idea. Oh, I am going to let the other students know about this. Oh, it's such a good idea.
You deserve to eat as well.
Oh.
Don't let anybody exploit you for labor.
Oh, I can't wait to get some great soup with this.
Get some good soup.
I'm going to get some good soup. I love soup.
The expensive ramen.
Tomato soup is the best with little chunks in it and the parsley.
Oh, I know I just ate, but I am super hungry now. Okay, well, I have to get back to my work. I have to get back to my work. I still have a lot to do, with my thesis and my writing, but I will send you a bird as soon as the part comes in. And then, yes, we can meet at my friend's place. When I send the message, I'll provide a little map for you to make sure you don't get lost, okay?
Fantastic, thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. I am seriously so excited about this, and thank you. Student Union. Such a good
Student
idea.
Union, absolutely. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much for your help.
Oh, and thank you. She like
Bye.
practically skips back to her work.
I do like her.
She's great.
Yeah, always lovely to see somebody enthusiastic about their work.
All right, so you now know that you have, or will have, Vaughn's Spyglass, which is a very cool item.
Cat. Sorry.
Is my cat here? Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Hi, Turtle.
Sorry.
That's okay. She set her tail on fire yesterday. She's fine. She didn't burn herself. But I was working on like stream content stuff. I had like my laptop in front of me, and then I had the desktop in front of me as well. And she was trying to get my attention, and I didn't want her to because I was really busy. And she walked over my candle to try and get in my lap. And I'm like, what? I look up and her tail's on fire, and I'm like,
Wow.
I put it out and she's fine. She's just she looks a little silly, but she didn't burn herself, so
She got your attention though.
she did get my attention. That's very true. It smelled awful in here for about an hour and a half. Yeah. 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 Although the way that I put it out was not very smart. I just like did it without thinking. I just went like this and like put my hand over it. It didn't burn me, so I don't know, but I just put it out with my hand, so
Glad you're both okay.
yeah.
Yikes.
I after I did it, I was like, that was a bad idea. I'm fine, but that could have
You
been
shouldn't
worse.
Run. That could have been terrible. If she'd noticed and
Yeah,
freaked out and
yeah.
started running, you would have had a flaming cat.
Oh yes, yeah. She didn't notice. Thank God. Yeah, that's what happened yesterday. Bevan said she was cosplaying as Lytton.
Aw.
Oh, so yeah, that's my life. Anyway, back to the story. All right. So, you all can, you can go on your way if you want to get on the boat. You know that anybody who's trying to reach you will be able to reach you when you're on it via the USPS. They'll be able to reach you. So you you can continue, but if you want to shop for supplies, you can do that as well if there's anything in particular you're looking for, or if you think you will need.
Health potions, perhaps. Maybe one or two, just for emergencies.
Yeah, it's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
The Perforated Planes is not a nice place.
No. We have all the camping things from the desert, and we're going to need food supplies, but I really do think we should pick up some other things, potentially things to help us, I don't know, detect pitfalls and sinkholes. This Perforated Planes sounds like a really terrible vacation spot.
And maybe some more anti-poison stuff.
Yeah.
Especially
Anti-venom.
since we've been alerted to the presence of flesh corruptors.
And, the whole thing with the plants being absolutely fucked up around these.
Is there anything that could make us less delicious?
Well, you could cover yourselves in way too much salt. Just way too much.
Oh,
Their build is
I already feel
already
my
so
skin
salty.
drying out.
I don't want to do that.
But
You might feel differently when you're inside somebody else's. Never mind. Make your own choices.
Rations.
I think it's worth
We
it
could
to
do-
spend money on healing items for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
There's
few
only
more
so much I can
rations.
do a day.
Yeah.
I feel like we could actually die if we're not careful.
We could, in fact, actually die out there. Yes, it could be. Well, I mean,
don't
this is the
know.
first time we're going to be away from all of our safety nets in the city and all of that. We're going into truly dangerous territory. I mean, beforehand it was still dangerous, but if we really got into some shit, we could yell at the trees and Cena would eventually come and find us. But
I've already claimed the life of adventurers before us.
very true. So, anyway, precautions, healing potions, things.
All right. So, you would be able to find, would you be searching for these things in Ethelwald, or would you go back to Meliad, or something else?
Probably Ethelwald, just because we're here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, finding healing potions is actually easier in Ethelwald. There are so many researchers and magic users in this area that finding someone who sells them is a much easier task than it would be even in Meliad. Meliad, they have them, but it's more of a hot commodity, where in Ethelwald, they're a bit flush with them. So, you actually see that there are health potions being basically sold on the side of the road. There are also shops for them as well, standard magic supply shops. But, which do you think you'd want to go to? Do you want to go to the health potion stand, one of them, or to a brick and mortar business?
Let's try stands.
Stands.
Yeah, stands.
Stands? Okay. So you see a handful of stands. Some have a very limited supply. It looks like maybe they've sold out because maybe their prices were really good. And then there's some more that have, moderately good supply. You see that there is one that has, it looks like they might have some higher than standard level potions. They might have some really good ones. But they look a little bit pricier. Do you go for the one that had the really good prices? Do you go for the just like middle of the road one that has good stock? Or do you go for the one that looks like it's more expensive but it has higher level potions?
My potions would kill you.
You can't handle my potions, traveler.
Give me your strongest. I'm so sorry. Anyway, here we go, guys.
Bevan showed me that video like 20 times in the same week. I can almost quote it verbatim. So yes.
Maybe the middle ones.
Yeah. Where's the road?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm just very concerned about getting some weird, like, bathtub healing potions that aren't actually gonna do the job when we need them.
Yeah.
It's not like we can test them ahead of time. Just want to caution us about, brand and quality. I don't want to go blind from drinking a healing potion.
So you go up to the middle of the road stand, and there is an older woman. She looks almost ancient, actually. Oh, hello. Yes, are you looking to purchase potions?
Yes.
No,
Do you
like
have
a
any
chicken.
healing potions?
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. And she, crouches down, kind of slowly, like, holding her back, like, oh, well, back's not what it used to be. But,
Do you need some help? Maybe I
oh,
can get them for you?
oh, yes, dearie, that would be great. Thank you. And she, kind of actually ushers you back behind her stand, just completely trusting you, to, help her get out a big box of healing potions. It looks like...
Sorry, go ahead.
It's like the size of her chest, like it's like whole torso box that she hands to you, Kai, so you can lift it instead of her.
Okay.
Would you say perhaps that this woman's bad back was caused by perhaps a degenerative bone disease?
Oh, well, it might be, dear.
Hold still. Boop. Cast Lesser Restoration on her and lift the bone disease as she has it.
Oh, I
That's
feel like I could tap dance again.
No, just give it a moment. Magic's still a little new.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
this is...
Up a little bit. Pull the shoulders back. How's that? Better?
Oh, this is
Less
lovely.
Great.
Oh,
Lovely.
yes, thank you.
No problem. Just don't like to see people suffer, And I just learned that, so why not use it for something interesting?
Oh, well,
Feels
you're just
overpowered.
the sweetest thing, dear. I think it'll probably come back, but oh well.
Probably not.
Oh, it's gone forever? Well.
Should do. It's a disease.
Yeah, so you should give us free potions.
Oh,
No,
well,
that's Karen.
I think I could give you one on the house. It is still my living, dear, but one on the house is fair. For curing my old trick back here.
Marigold, what were you just saying about doing work for free?
That wasn't my intention at all, actually.
He's practicing his magic.
No, I saw someone in pain, and I have the power to fix it. Why
Get
wouldn't I
paid!
do that?
The lesson of the day. Do good things, but also get paid.
Follow your own advice, huh?
I'm sorry about my friends, madam. What is your name?
Oh, my name is Ethel. Ethel in Ethelwald.
Ethel.
Oh.
Right.
Yes,
Alright.
Ethel.
But how's about this? We actually do need quite a few potions, because as you can see, there are quite a few of us.
Oh, yes, there are many of you, and I am sure you certainly look like the adventurers I've seen in my time.
That's true, and we're going to need some anti-venom as well, and we probably would need... I wonder, do you have a potion of fly hanging about?
Oh, I just might. Let me take a look here now that my
What do you
back's
have?
feeling better. Oh,
Because we're going into some very dangerous territory, and I really would like us to be well prepared, right? And I'm, like, nodding at you guys.
Yeah.
I like being prepared.
Yes, prepared, safe.
okay. So, what she does actually is she goes under her little like stand and pulls out a big book, and she puts it out. Well, everything I have is in here. If it has a big X next to it, we are out for the season. If it has a specific number, that's the number I have. If it only says the name, that means I only have one, dear.
Okay.
So we have a fair amount of things, but let's see. What do I think adventurers would be interested in? And she's kind of searching through the book. I have a potion of climbing. That one might be useful. It looks like we did have a potion of flying, but it looks like we sold out, dear. I am sorry about that.
That's all right.
What else do we have here?
Perhaps Featherfall, slightly less.
Oh, yes, I think we do have a Featherfall. Let me see. Yes, we have two Featherfall, two of them. And then what else do we have? A potion of resistance. I know you were looking for some poison cures. This may help you out a little bit there. Let's see. What else do we have?
What sort of healing potions do you have? Regulars?
Yes, I have the regular ones. And then I do have some slightly better ones than that. Let me just see. I do have 4 greater healing potions, and 1 superior healing potion. Beyond that, I have just this whole box of the regular ones. The whole box.
How many's in the box?
Oh, I'd say a baker's dozen.
Sorry, that's
13.
a term I'm not... I think.
13.
Ah, yes, 13. One to taste yourself.
11. What?
Oh, the baker's dozen.
Bakers are notoriously bad at math.
You have the
alright.
baker's dozen, because then the baker gets to try one of the loaves to make sure it's of good quality. So then you give 12 to the person who's buying, and you take one for yourself. Baker's dozen.
No, they're just bad at math.
Perhaps true, dear. I could just be telling old wives' tales. I am an old
I think
wife.
that's a story that they tell to make themselves feel better.
That
I'm
might
going
be
to-
the case.
Swap to Anne and say, oh, so it's actually like the fairies share. Does anybody understand me?
She does not. Does anybody else? She's like,
Elvin?
she's like, speak up, dear. I think my ears are going out again. What was that?
Oh, sorry, no, the fairies share. It's an elf thing.
Oh, yes, the fairies. Yes, just like that. You want to make sure you can, give a little to the fairies, otherwise they'll curse you all to hell.
No.
Oh, that must have been the story I was told. My mother was quite the fierce woman.
Fairies don't... Okay. Anyway, so 13 is a baker's dozen here. See, I'm a little unfamiliar with that term.
Correct, yes. There are 13 in this big old box here that your friend was kind enough to lift for me before you, fixed my back up there.
Right. Okay, friends, how much do we need? What do we need? I'm not really good at this. I'm just the person who talks.
Probably should definitely snatch up a superior.
Okay. How much would you like for that one, ma'am?
So, the superior healing potion, let me just do a little calculation here.
If we can afford it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, here. Let me just take a look. I have my pricing guide. So the superior one is quite expensive. You would be looking at about 2,000 gold.
Oh, nope. That's a no.
Right, okay. And the graters? How much are they?
The graters are a little bit easier on the old wallet. You'd be looking at about 200 for the greater, but if you're getting all of them, I would give you a bulk discount.
Oh, all right. And the regulars?
The regulars are about 50 gold.
Okay. Now how
Regular it is.
Yeah.
Nice, affordable regulars.
How much do we have, darlings? I'm really not keeping track of them. Zasa, how much gold do we have? Okay, actually.
I-
Although they bet it. Kai, are you very left
I've
handed?
distributed the funds, so
Yeah, we all have our
Yeah,
own.
we all have our own.
I
Yeah.
don't remember how much
I
that
have
was.
I have 200, and I think I've been spending the most, so presumably we have 1,000.
I
But
have 184.
I
I know exactly how much money I have on me at all times.
have 138 gold and 22 silver.
And I have 185 gold.
Okay, so I don't actually know how much money.
oh right, Zasa actually started with more money because for background.
You were just
spend more,
rolling
but
in
you're
that dough.
rich.
Yeah,
So,
turns out the equipment that the game gives you for being a sage is basically the same that you get for being a wizard, so
Oh,
it just gets cashed out.
fun.
But yeah, Rune,
So-
if you're not certain how much gold you have, I'd say you would probably have about the same as what the party's saying, maybe like 130, 140, because I
Okay.
know you bought the zebra and then you helped buy the lizards as well. So
I did, yes.
So I'd say maybe
and
around-
I did give.
oh,
that
you did
college
just give
student-
gold, yes.
Yeah.
You did
so
give the
it's
college
probably
student
around
gold.
80 something at the moment.
Yeah, so I'd say you probably have about 80, yes, because you did just give money to Keela.
I'll buy 2 regular healing potions for us.
Right.
Okay, that's 2 of the regular. That'd be 100 gold, dear. But you know, if you're, let me know how many you think you're getting total, and then I'll see if I can apply a bulk discount of some sort.
That would be lovely. How much are the
Maybe-
potions of feather fall and resistance in climbing?
Yes. So if we were doing the let me just find it in my little list here. If we were doing the climbing potion, that would be about 30 gold. You know, that one's pretty affordable. If we were doing the feather fall, that'd be a little bit more expensive, coming in at about 50. About the price of that healing potion. You know, it's very useful. We did have 2 of those. And then let's see here. If you were doing the potion of resistance, this one would be more in the 200 range. You know, I think probably about 180 for this one.
Alright. Well, I shall leave the math to you, lot, as I am terrible at it.
So, how good is a potion of Featherfall actually going to be? Because you're falling, you got to dig it out of your backpack, and then you got to drink it before you splat on the ground.
No, you took it before.
Huh.
This one's
It's you have to be falling for it to work, says Caravan, who definitely knows a lot about magic.
Karen hangs around with Zasa.
I learned it from Zasa.
Well, how long does it last? Because maybe if it lasts like an hour, you just take it when you're in like a high up place where you could fall.
That's a Corinne thing, but the actual spell only works on people who are already falling.
Yeah. So
Is it? Okay.
since this is a potion, it would be something that you would have a bit of a duration with. Since it's not just, you know, it's not a flying potion, it's not going to give you the ability to fly, but it will lessen your fall. It'll stop you from falling, essentially, allow you to float. I would say that this would be something that you could take a half hour beforehand, and you would have safety from falling for that half hour. It's not going to give you a really long amount of time, but it's enough time that if you're currently climbing a rocky cliff face, you could be like, I'm going to drink this, just so I'm ready.
It's worth noting at this point that I can make you float for 10 minutes.
Oh, well, we don't need those then.
Komodo can climb.
Okay, well, the regular potions honestly probably seem like our best bet. Just for a little bit of insurance. I can heal, Kai can heal. You know.
Back up.
Right, just in case one of us goes down, or, you know, something terrible happens and we need to actually heal somebody who isn't us. Because that's actually so very useful in the past, is us just helping people rather than just being like, immediately kill everyone. I don't know what that voice was.
The voice of a killer.
Yes, which I do not have.
Wink.
All right. So who wants regular healing potions? I want one.
We could
just
just
for
all
backup.
get one each.
One
And that,
each?
I think, would be decent enough for now.
All
I'm
right.
not very good at taking or distributing potions in a fight. I tend to get really mad and
No.
just want to slap people.
No, that's fine. I'm just
Okay.
you know, making sure.
I'll
we have
get
one for
2,
you.
and then someone else can get the other.
I'll get one.
Get one each, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll get one.
Yeah, I get one for sure.
Oh, all right.
I'll
you're
get one and give it to Kervin because she's more likely to use it than I am.
all right. Are
That's
we
fine.
are we talking 5 total? Or are we doing something different there, dearies?
No, that's 5 total.
5.
I think.
Alrighty, if you're doing the 5 total, I think I can give you about a 10% discount. Let me do a little math here. She pulls out an abacus and starts doing math.
45 each then?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Delightful. Well,
225.
you don't think you could throw in a 6th?
Well, you are getting one free one from me as well.
That's true. So.
So if you like, it would be 45 each, and then you get one free. Or you could get one of the other potions. I would let you pick something else if you like. As I'm not going to let you get the superior healing potion. That's a little much, a little rich for my blood. But you know, I could say you could get a greater healing potion. I would do that for fixing my back for me. Or you could get one of the other potions: potion of climbing, potion of resistance. Something like that.
I've got one greater just in case for a little bit of insurance. I have a feeling we're going to go see some very nasty things out in the plains.
Alrighty, one potion of greater coming right up, free of charge.
Thank you so much for your help.
Oh, and thank you, dear. My back hasn't felt this good since I was a young thing. And she gets out a couple of little sacks and puts the potions into it, kind of patting them to make sure that they're not going to get damaged by each other, and then hands them over. You get about 3 bags of them. You can disperse them as you will after that, but she's basically wrapping them up nice for you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, was there anything else I could help you with, dearies? All right, if that's everything. I am just so pleased that you stopped by today.
Oh, Ethel, do you
Yes.
ever do any trading with anyone?
Oh, yes, dear, I do trade. Basically every street vendor does.
Right. There's a little shop called Jill's General Store, and I
Jill's
really
General
think
Store.
she might benefit from some of your goods and might be able to open up some advantageous routes between the two of you. Just to get your wares
yes,
out there.
dear. Oh, yes. Let me write that down here. She pulls out a giant quill and starts
Okay,
writing
I promise.
really, really large, really large. Okay, so Jill's General Store. And what town was that in, dearie?
What was it in? Was it in shit? Hold up. It was back in Wayside or Trum? I think we were in Trum.
You were shopping in Trum, yes.
Right. Yes, it's back in Trum, so not too far from here.
Alrighty, so Jill's General Store in Trum. They could sell my goods. Sell my potions. Ethel's potions. Alrighty, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna look up Jill and send her a letter, and maybe you'll see my goods next time you're in Trum.
Delightful, because we are always happy to support smaller businesses.
Oh, yes, and I do appreciate that, dear. Especially, getting up in age. I need all the support I can get.
Well, have a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much for your help. And hopefully we'll see you on our way back through.
Oh, yes, I will certainly be here. Here every day, rain or shine.
Right. We leave.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I fade into the back.
Thanks, Apple.
Exit left, pursued by a bear.
All right. So you are able to get the potions you needed. You also wanted to get just like normal rations and things like that, right?
Stuff for the lizards and stuff for
Yeah.
the zebra.
Okay. I think you'd be able to find that pretty easily, even in Ethelwald. You would probably pay about 5 gold total just to get supplies for the lizards and the zebra. Just standard feed, things for cleaning them, etc. And then for rations for yourselves, how much in the way of rations are you looking to get?
First off, was it 5 gold each or 5 gold?
Five total, just to get
So
for
just
everybody. Yeah,
And
1 gold for
we'll
each of you.
And we'll feed
Alright.
cheap.
Well.
Rations we're probably going to need, I don't know, a week and a half just to be safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a week and a half for all of you, in Ethelwald, the prices are pretty reasonable. It would probably cost you about 15 gold total, like all the way. So about 5 gold or 3 gold from each of you to get enough
Okay.
rations. You think?
Okay, that'll do.
Alright.
So four from each of us.
Yeah, 4 from each of you to cover feed and care for yourselves and the animals during your trip to the plains.
Let's say even 5 and we get nice food.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. You can give it extra gold to get some slightly nicer rations if you like.
But beef jerky gets old after about the first 3 days, just saying.
I'd like to buy a fishing pole.
Yeah, I think you could find a fishing pole. You would have to go to more of like the general store. There's a fairly okay one that's near the library. As you get to the general store, you don't really see fishing poles right out the gate. Like there don't seem to be any. But you think this is something that you could ask for, and they would have in the back.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Yeah. You looking for something in particular?
A fishing pole, please.
Fishing pole. Yes, we have some in the back. Are you looking for a particular size or strength?
Something good for river fishing.
River fishing, okay. He goes into the back and finds he finds a fishing rod. And is it in chat?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check later. So he pulls out, he comes back with a fishing rod that looks like it'd be suitable for the river. And he hands it over. It looks to be in pretty good shape. It looks like it may have been pre-owned and traded in. Yeah, so I have this one here. I just got it in a week ago. It seems to be working condition. I tested it out. It cost you about 1 gold.
I'll take it. You wouldn't happen to... Well, I already have fishing tackle, so... Then yes, just the fishing rod.
Alrighty, here you go. And can I interest you in a lovely ball of yarn?
Yes.
I just watched your pupils dilate in real time.
For real.
So, he brings over a basket of yarn.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I got these in. No one's been buying them. I've been basically offering them to everybody who walks in. So if you want some yarn, it's about 1 silver per little bundle.
How many are in the basket?
Oh my god.
Well, the whole basket, it's about 30 bundles.
I'll take it.
All right, so that would be I said 3 silver. Yeah, 30 silver. Oh wait, no, that would be
3 gold?
Yeah, that'd be 3 gold.
3 gold.
Yeah.
30, is it 3 silver per bundle or?
Wait, it was 3
actually,
silver per
no.
bundle, so that would be
If there's 10 bundles. That is
30,
silver.
so that'd be 90
30
silver.
silver.
90 silver for all of it.
90
Which is
silver.
9 gold.
Yes.
Absolutely done.
Okay.
No questions asked and no haggling.
Oh, well, I'm certainly glad to get rid of it. No one was buying it. Here you go. Take care of it, I guess. I don't know what you're gonna do with that much yarn, but, you know.
I'm a knitter.
Oh, that makes sense then. Yeah, we don't have...
Doorway.
We have some knitters in town, but they already have a dedicated yarn supplier.
Local yarn store.
Yeah,
You
the
know how it
local
goes
yarn
there.
store.
I have like a fishing pole under my arm, and
Here,
then I'm
darling,
just carrying them all.
Let me help you with the yarn. I'm going to
Oh,
actually...
you can take the fishing pole.
Okay, I was just going to give you a bag, but all right. I take the fishing pole. You want a bag, or are you just going to carry it all out in your arms?
I guess I'll take a bag.
Marigold resists the urge to yoink a ball of yarn and throw it, but he really thinks hard about it before just gently taking the fishing pole.
All right.
Oh my god! I take a piece of string out, and I take the flower out of my hair. it's silk, and I tie it to the fishing pole and run out the door with it.
I am sprinting as best as I can, holding all of my yarn.
Oh goodness, you're fast!
And I think...
It's just a pink blur followed by a brown blur.
I think...
And I'm making the little the clicky noise.
Oh, like the...
Yes.
Yeah. I made a mistake!
Well, I think that is what we leave it on for the day. Quite the image. Next week, you'll all be traveling on the river and getting to the plains. All right, so go around to say who you are, what you do, and then we can pass the floor to the next people. So, Hiromi up first.
I'm Hiromi. I am an RPG author. I'm on the Scarred Lands team. So the more you watch and play Scarred Lands, the happier I am, because it means I get to write more books. I have a queer genre fiction anthology that comes out like each month. This month's isn't out yet, so I guess I'll plug that next week.
Alrighty, very good. Candy.
I'm Candy. I'm the DM of the Dicey Amazons Twitch channel. We do homebrew D&D. We are actually on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, provided we can get our first episode of Quarantine D&D from our different homes together in time. But yeah.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you, and definitely
you.
post it on Twitter so I can share it.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, Megan.
Hello. When I am not here, I am on the channel The Chromatic Chimera, and that'll be the next time you can see me on Wednesday. I'll be in Steam Spell. Other than that, I will be here same time next week.
Very nice. Rune.
Hello, I'm Rune. I do many art things. You can find me on the internet as @RuneSale. I do art for tabletop role-playing games, most recently Age of Sigmar. You can find me here on Saturdays, my own stream on Sundays, Goldheart Gaming on every other Monday, and then here again on Tuesday mornings, hopefully. And yeah, I'm kind of... Maybe I do too many things. Anyway, yeah, that's me.
You do a lot of things.
I do
All
many
right,
things.
Shawnee.
I am Shawnee of Showcat Cosplay across all social media. If you're interested in cosplay or you want to check out something kind of cool, Cosplay Realm magazine just put out their D&D issue, and you can actually catch one of my D&D OCs in that issue. So definitely go and check out Cosplay Realm magazine.
Rats. Definitely.
Thank you.
That's so cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you all. I am Corinne. I've been the DM. You can find me as at Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter. as well as I usually stream on Roll the Roll on Twitch. We have a Starfinder game on Fridays that I'm in, which we just started this Friday, so we'd be jumping in pretty fresh for next Friday. And then in general, I'm just working on other stuff, so hopefully we'll be doing something new soon too. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to put us to the away screen, and then we will pass the floor to the people who are being hosted after us. Bye. Have a good day, and keep social distancing, and just wash your hands, please. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.